What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Muster Room Podcast. This is going to be a special mini episode, and the reason being, I'm going to get into that momentarily. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see that I am here at the Muster Room studio completely by myself. For those of you that are listening, you're not going to hear anybody else except for me. Reason being, the entire Muster Room Podcast quit. They said I wasn't paying them enough, and they just got really upset, and they walked out, and they allegedly are going to be unionizing. May or may not be a lie, or the other reason could be we're taking a break, a much needed break. I want to call it vacation, but that wouldn't be necessarily true. The reason that the Muster Room Podcast is going on break is for actually a great reason. Everyone that's involved with the Muster Room Podcast is also involved with our nonprofit Law Enforcement Officers Weekend. In just a few short days from now, our entire team will be heading down to the Miami and Fort Lauderdale area to host multiple families who lost a loved one in the line of duty. We'll be taking them on a cruise out of Miami to the Bahamas. So while we will be on a beautiful Royal Caribbean ship, we will be working. So think of this as a vacation for yourself. You don't have to listen to myself, Joe, Eric, or Mark talk on camera. Over the past few weeks, because of our 9/11 series and all the other amazing episodes that we've released, we have gained a significant amount of new followers. And to those of you who have subscribed, liked, shared, we truly appreciate it. So without any further ado, let's jump into what our organization is all about and some of the upcoming events that you and your friends can participate in. So in 2014, I was a police recruit with the NYPD, and just 3 weeks before my graduation, detectives Rafael, Ramos, and Wenjian were killed in the line of duty when they were shot by a perpetrator in their patrol car while they were eating lunch. The perpetrator came all the way up from Baltimore to kill 2 New York City police officers just because of the negative rhetoric that was occurring all throughout the country with false media narratives that were spewed by politicians and the Black Lives Matter movement. And that specific incident allowed me to create this idea in my mind where officers, their friends, and their families can just get away for a weekend without having to worry about what's going on back home. And 2 years later, LEO Weekend was born. And it started off as this really small event up in Lake George, New York. We had only 100 attendees back in May of 2017, and it had everything from seminars to canine demonstrations, vintage police car displays, a shooting competition, and it was only supposed to be this one-off event. And we hosted 2 families of fallen officers. But as the event progressed and after the event was over, we received a significant amount of positive feedback. Well, maybe this needs to be more than just one event a year. We officially became a nonprofit later in that year, and it's really skyrocketed ever since then. Fast forward to today in 2025, we now host over 20 events a year all throughout the United States. And those could be anything from weekend getaways, all expenses paid for the families of injured and fallen officers, to fishing charters, motorcycle rally, professional sporting events, fundraisers, holiday toy shopping sprees, and so much more. And these events are not only just for the families of injured and fallen officers, they're for you, your family, your friends, your coworkers. We want you to come to these events and help show your support for these families that are going through probably the most terrible time in their lives. Now, obviously, we're not going to pay your way to come, but everything is at a significantly discounted rate. Now, most of our events in 2025 is over. Our season essentially is coming to an end. However, we already have multiple events planned for 2026. And 2 of those that are planned already that I want to discuss right now with you and invite you to attend is our upcoming Islanders and Rangers game on January 28th. And the biggest event of the year will be our cruise out of Galveston, Texas to Cozumel, Mexico in November of 2026. Now, the Islanders and Rangers game is self-explanatory, but let's talk more about this cruise. Even if you've been on a cruise before, I highly recommend paying attention and listening to all the things that we have to offer. Typically, we start a few days prior before actually even getting on the boat. So for next year, November 5th to the 9th is the actual cruise itself. However, we will be down in Texas in the Galveston, Houston area, probably 2 to 3 days prior. And we're going to host a bunch of other activities where you guys get to hang out and really make your vacation even longer. This is going to be our 4th annual cruise. So we've worked out all the kinks in years past to make sure that this one is going to be the best one yet. We're going to be involving all the local area restaurants, hotels, and law enforcement agencies to make sure this is the best event possible. Then, of course, starting November 5th, we get on the boat. It's going to be Liberty of the Seas, which is personally my favorite ship out of the entire Royal Caribbean fleet. But I digress. You get on the boat on the 5th, and from the 5th to the 9th, it is just a major, relaxing, fun party atmosphere. We do have an itinerary that you do or don't have to follow. This is supposed to be your vacation. You do with it as you please. However, we do request that you come to the welcome ceremony, which occurs on the ship the day that we set sail. And we pay tribute to the 5 families of fallen officers that we are hosting on the ship, totally free because of you and your friends coming. By attending, Royal Caribbean kicks back a small percentage that allows us to help pay the rest of the way for these deserving families. The welcome ceremony is only about an hour long. You're going to meet us, the crew. You're going to meet the families. You're going to mingle. You're going to drink. You're going to collect your t-shirts, your wristbands, and you're going to have a lot of fun. Now, mind you, there's going to be law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMTs, military members, friends, family, not just from the New York area where we're based out of, but across the entire country. And whether you're active or retired, whether you fill any form of law enforcement, we don't care. We just want you there. Last year, we had nearly 250 attendees, and this year for 2026, I truly believe we could probably reach up to 400 to 500. But the ship is going to fill fast, so now's the time to book. So head over to our website, leoweekend.com/Mexico, and you'll find all the information right there and then. Now, mind you, when you see the price per room, this is for double occupancy. So that means it's not just you. That price is for you and a guest. It's extremely affordable. And then you also include your drink package. All the food's already included. And again, it is just multiple days of partying and having fun and just being able to express yourself as an active or retired law enforcement officer or somebody who's involved in law enforcement, supports law enforcement, and you don't have to be worried about other individuals judging you. Let's face it, so many of us, when we're in a room of crowded people, we tell them that we're sanitation, we're firefighters, we're lawyers, we're babysitters. We lie just because we don't want to deal with the backlash we may receive by telling somebody that we're law enforcement. So this is an opportunity to actually be yourself and be surrounded by like-minded individuals. And I guarantee that you will make friends for life. There are families who have met on these experiences, and now they travel the country every single year with each other, going to other events that either we're hosting or they're doing themselves. We even have families who will go to Christmas, Hanukkah, other major holidays and spend it with one another, and they met at one of the LEO weekend events. It's awesome. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I want all of you there, but if you haven't already come to one of our events, this is the one to be at. There's no way you're not going to have a great time. And for those of you who have been to Police Week in the past, this is not that. We don't expect you to show up in a uniform. We definitely don't expect you to show up in a police-related t-shirt, although many of us do, myself included. It's not supposed to be something where you're hourly showing that you're law enforcement. We would love if you do. However, this is more of a laid-back atmosphere. T-shirt, sandals, bathing suit, definitely no suits, no ties, no dresses. Again, this is your vacation. Show up and have fun. So if this is any of interest to you, which it should be, go to leoweekend.com/Mexico and find out more. And if you have any questions, even prior to registering, right on the website, you'll have the information to Bill Kingston. He is our cruise planner and a retired member of the NYPD. He is what I'd call a cruise guru. He knows everything and can answer all your questions. So please, I really hope you can join us either at the Rangers and Islanders game or at the cruise in Galveston, cruising to Mexico, November of 2026. And there's so many more events that are going to be upcoming in 2026. So make sure to follow LEO Weekend on Instagram, Law Enforcement Officers Weekend on Facebook, or follow me, Officer Glick, on TikTok and Instagram. And I make sure to repost every single flyer for upcoming events. And we're going to be expanding. This is just the beginning. Yes, we've been in operation now for almost 9 years, but this is just the beginning. So if you want to host an event, if you have an idea anywhere in the country where you think this would be successful, reach out to us and let us know. We're open to anything. So with that being said, I want to thank all of you for being our subscribers, our listeners, our friends, and our Blue family. None of this would be possible if it weren't for your support. So while we from the Muster Room are gone for the next few weeks, just keep in mind that it's for a great cause. So on behalf of the team here from the Muster Room and from Law Enforcement Officers Weekend, be safe, thank you, and we'll see you in a few weeks.